Hi, Uncle Ricky here. Thank you for joining me for Uncle Ricky's Stories. Tonight I'm going to tell you a marvelous story, or really it's a poem, about how important it is to keep your promises and to fulfill your commitments, even though it may be very hard to do so and nobody will know that you did it except yourself, because you knowing is all important. Now, this is a poem by a man named Robert W. Service, who used to write poems about the gold miners up in the Klondike Gold Rush days. And he lived in Canada, and he wrote stories about what they were doing and where they were going and some of the trials and tribulations that they had. So, here it is. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marsh of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows, and why he left his home in the South, roam round the poles, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of the gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson trail. Talk of your cold, through the parka's fold it stabbed like a driven nail, and if our eyes we closed, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I hope that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of a moan, "It's this cursed cold. It's got right hold till I'm chilled, clean through to the bone. It ain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I wouldn't fail. We started at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He just crouched in the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise I'd given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." And the promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. And the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, how I loathed the thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. But on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was packed in ice, and I saw in a trice, it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. "And here," I said with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor and lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found was laying around and piled the fuel higher. The flames just soared, that furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal and stuffed in Sam McGee. And then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. The heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in its inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear. But the stars came out, they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked. It's time I went, so the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm, in the heart of the furnace roar. Why, he wore a smile you could see a mile. And he said, please close that door, for it's fine in here, and I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Why, since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, and the Arctic trails have their secret tales 'twould make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marsh of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Uncle Ricky here. Good night.